Speaking to Good Morning Britain, Mr. Malthouse, the Minister for Crime and Policing, defended the government's decisions towards policing, which at its height saw over 20,000 bobbies struck off, leading to soaring crime rates. GMB host Susanna Reid slammed the decisions as a major mistake which the British public have had to pay the price for. It comes as the government announced on Tuesday its new beating crime plan, which they say sets out our strategic approach to cutting crime. Susanna Reid hammered Mr. Malthouse, saying, "It was a mistake. Wasn't it, to cut that many police numbers?" A flailing Malthouse hit back in defense, arguing the economic conditions at the time of police cuts played a key role in the decision to cut back on police in Britain. He insisted, "Well, I don't think it necessarily was, no. Don't forget, Susanna, what the atmosphere was, that we were coming out of the biggest economic crash the world has seen since the First World War. This was an enormous moment when we were in deep financial trouble. We had to cut our cloth accordingly. At the same time, crime was falling, and so the team that were running the government then made very difficult decisions. In extremely difficult economic circumstances against a background of falling crime." But the minister admitted that crime has risen as a result of the plans, adding, "Since then, we have seen a blip up in some crime types." Mr. Malthouse went on to insist this was also the result of changing crime types, including the county lines drug model, which sees drug dealers use rural networks of often young drugs mules to ship and sell drugs across the UK out of major cities. The debate over policing in Britain has raged for years following the decision by former Prime Minister Theresa May, who at the time was Home Secretary, to cut over 20,000 police officers alongside police funding. Campaigners argue that vastly underfunded and understaffed police forces meant crime rocketed across the UK, forcing some stations to close, meaning the police were overstretched to deal with growing incidents of crime. But Mr. Malthouse insists how the government is keen to change the chaotic crime landscape with the new beating crime plan introduced by Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Trending, the government said, "The beating crime plan sets out our strategic approach to cutting crime, cutting homicide, serious violence and neighborhood crime, exposing and ending hidden harms, and building capability and capacity to deal with fraud and online crime. It sets out how we will focus our efforts on the places where these crimes occur, the people who commit them, and the criminal enterprises that fuel the drugs trade." The plan introduces bold new measures to drive down crime and tackle the underlying causes of repeat offending. The delivery of this plan will require a joint effort from everyone involved in the criminal justice system. The plan, therefore, sets out the steps we are taking to improve capacity across the system.